Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And whether you like it or not, whether you realize it or not, no matter who is in office or what's going on politically, the Track Trace Database Society that has been building for not months, not years, but decade after decade after decade marches on. And unfortunately, a vast majority of us on some level are guinea pigs without knowing it, if not all of us. Even somebody like me who is so aware of these programs and what's really going on with our society today. The automation nation is being built in front of our eyes. Now, this is a story that to me is extremely alarming because once again, the participants had no idea it was going on, and it reminded me a lot of the film Minority Report. So before we break down this very important story of how 30,000 fans this January had advanced facial recognition used on them without their knowledge. Shocker. Shocker. So we're going to break that down. We're going to break down Minority Report. We're going to talk about where this is going and where it's already gone. But I do want to remind everybody that I have a Rockfin. It's one of the ways that you can support me. We're doing live on Tuesdays for everybody. So even if you're not financially doing the $9.99 a month and getting like everybody, Jimmy Dore on there with premium content as well now. Really cool stuff. You still get to see at least that one exclusive, right? And we're doing several exclusives. We did one on defamation this week that you can check out for free, and YouTube. And remember, this platform's demonetized me. So $5, $10, $15, big donations, we need them more than ever because how many people are actually talking about these stories? Okay? 30,000 unsuspecting Rose Bowl attendees were scooped up in a facial recognition test. Now, the Rose Bowl holds about 90,000 people, so the technology wasn't able to grab everybody, but basically what it did is while you were going one of these monitors here, it was doing a visibility test or vector. Lovely. And this is where, they're getting much more advanced, detailed facial recognition that would get with just regular surveillance systems. Now, why do I bring up Minority Report? For those unfamiliar with the film, Steven Spielberg movie, obviously starring Tom Cruise. There's, some psychic stuff in it that I think is a little bit, pseudo-tech. But while you go throughout this society where Tom Cruise is part of a pre-crime unit, right? Because they're building databases on us. They're building profiles. This Track Trace Database Society is also profiling us. Remember Mainway? Huh? Remember us talking about Mainway that are in the Snowden documents and even a precursor to that with Norris Insight Systems? Mainway, they were profiling. Okay? And while people walk throughout different areas of the film, there are these monitors there that are using facial recognition, that are using biometrics on their eyes, that are then, what? Putting ads out that they think they want to see. Now, we already have this on a micro level with all of our social media, right? Especially Facebook being that example. Or being on any website and Google AdSense projecting what you should see there because you might click it and you might buy it. My barber, I help her with technology. I showed her a good phone to get, and she's telling me a story about, oh yeah, you know what? And I was over on Facebook, and right there, they had a case for it, and I clicked it, and it was right for the phone, right on Facebook. She didn't even realize it wasn't, a Facebook sale. She's just clicking, and that's what they're honing in on. And once again, this is a very dangerous reality because you don't even know you're taking part in programs like this. And yes, this technology, for instance, this is a private company. But can you imagine what our Pentagon has done? Can you imagine what DARPA has done? Let's talk about biometrics and facial recognition just in Iraq alone, where they were scanning people's irises all the way back then. Let's then talk about the commercialization of these devices, okay? Number one right here is the fingerprint scanner. I have that covered up with a sticker. I'd rather not give up my fingerprint. And now, they even have them on the side buttons now. They're even smaller. But this also has face unlock, which I turn off. At the same time, I got a high definition, multi-megapixel. I think that one's a 13 megapixel front camera on there. That every time I'm on my device, it's recognizing what I'm doing. And what do I mean, what am I doing? Am I interested? Are my eyes wider? Are my pupils dilated? If you don't think that stuff has already been implemented, you're fooling yourself. Okay? Again, when you're going to a football game, even though they're trying to demonize that, oh, but can you imagine in the era of social distancing? Oh no! But they're only able to catch about a third of them because these monitors and kiosks, not everybody was looking up at them and getting a good look. But once again, you can see where this is headed. And I was having a discussion about this with my brother the other day, and he said, is the population really under some kind of a mass hypnosis? And unfortunately, yes, we are. We need to accept that. We need to fight back with every ounce of our humanity and our common sense to realize that. We have to realize that we've found ourselves beholden to consumerist items, number one, and then not only entertainment, right, but edutainment, which has taught us how to act and react to certain things. And we're all susceptible to this on some level. Very Burdasian. Again, Truth Stream Media really breaks this down. But they know what works. And before we had all this technology, this track trace database stuff, the facial recognition, right, implemented on a large level, they knew that fear worked. They knew that things like false flag operations worked and still do work. And they've implemented those over the years. Populations have always been very, very manipulated. But as technology has gotten better, and they have been able to edge people on these micro levels, it's getting extremely frightening. And you got to ask yourself, are they trying to build that pre-crime track trace database Minority Report style society? And if so, how many human beings do you think they need? Defund the police, bring in DARPA's Spot the Robot. Thanks, Boston Dynamics. We have to stop acting like there aren't drones that are autonomous throughout the globe at this point, capable of military strikes. I did an earlier video today on Starlink and SpaceX and all of these companies that are working with the Army and DARPA and the military-industrial complex. So especially now, when everybody here, by the way, you now have the COVID, if it updated on its own, or you got an OS update, especially if you're Android. I see this going around, but it's been around for quite some time. I think I disabled it like 2 weeks ago. Let's go to my Google account settings. But right here on my Google account settings, what's at the top right there? COVID-19 exposure notifications. Talk about a Trojan horse. And if you've got an Android phone, go check. Make sure it's turned off. Not that it matters. That's just window dressing. The capabilities have already been there. All right? And they've already been in use. So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, share, let people know that sports stadiums and other areas where large people are in attendance are rife for this type of surveillance, rife for this type of data collection. And most people don't even know it's going on at all. Please consider supporting me over at the GoFundMe. Again, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. It's how we keep this bad boy afloat. Check me out over on Rockfin as well as Minds. Remember, I am a documentary filmmaker. I was checking out one of Jay Dyer's tweets today on the CIA, LSD, Timothy Leary. Really interesting stuff. Go check out Dyer. In fact, he reached out to me and said he wanted to do a swapcast on the Holy Mountain, so that could be coming up shortly. Loose Change, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here in the comment section, in the playlist section. Make sure to check them out. And again, make sure you're subscribed, thumb this up, join in the Burmist Brigade while we're still on this platform, even though, again, the demonetization, not a good sign. They want us off, but we're going to continue to fight back. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip.